This week in gaming and tech news. Nintendo are finally raising prices on the Switch 2. We've got Sony exploring the use of generative AI even more. And more on Sony, Marathon and Bungie aren't performing as well as Sony hoped. So let's get into it. But first, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and ask if you like this content, please like and subscribe. You can always unsubscribe if you hate me. It just really helps the channel out. So let's get into it. Okay, first of all, I'm going to be going over the new Switch 2 prices. So it's been changed in Japan, the United States, Canada, and Europe, with the UK price going to be announced later down the line. But I'll just do the United States price at the moment. It is currently $449.99, but it will go to $499.99. Wow, that's difficult to say. So basically, it was $450, and now it's going to go to $500. They're saying that this is due to the RAM crisis, which is no surprising that any company can also just use that as an excuse. Now, I know it's not fair that there actually is a RAM crisis. Yeah, it's probably inevitable. Those articles going out that Nintendo's basically being forced to change the price. You can believe that if you want. There is a kind of a positive spin to the Nintendo price hikes. So they're coming out in September. So you still have a bit of time to get them now. If you're planning on a Switch 2, I'll get it now because you're saving $50. So $50 is $50. You could buy a game with that. So that is something good that's not coming out straight away. So anyone wants to get a Switch 2, I'd probably suggest getting it now for the new price. And also the Switch 2 online is getting more expensive, but only in Japan. So that's a bit strange, but hey. Out of Sony and Microsoft, Nintendo was the last one to really do this, and I feel like a lot of people thought this would happen anytime, and they've announced it. Okay, next. Okay, so Sony's $3.6 billion buyout of Bungie is not going well, as in Sony's latest earnings report. Bungie's owner recorded an $565 million impairment loss against the developer. And for the full year, they marked a $768 million impairment loss against Bungie. I'm not too much into the financial side, but what I've gathered what impairment loss is that in basic terms, it's basically worth that £765 million, but less than the last year. That's what I've gathered from it, but I'm probably not the right person to really explain financial information. Bungie is not performing as well as Sony hoped, and I feel like a lot of people could gather that because I feel like Marathon is quite a niche game, and although they've recently said the roadmap they're going to support this game for a couple years, which is good seeing that they're getting that support, I just feel like Marathon is really struggling to get the general gamers involved. It does definitely have its audience, people enjoying the game who are like the hardcore fans of it, but I just feel like they're going to struggle to get players coming back to the game. We just have to see if the Bungie acquisition actually pays off for Sony later down the line. An article from Insider Gaming, Sony is exploring generative AI with Bandai Namco. There's a new partnership has been announced between the companies to work on generative AI. Sony added that they want repetitive workflows to be automated, software engineering productivity is improving, and the new AI tools are accelerating areas such as quality assurance, 3D modeling, and animation. The company spoke about a tool called Mockingbird that can quickly animate a 3D dance model from performance capture, but they're still saying that the company states the role of its creators will remain unchanged as AI evolves. Sony is probably not doing as well as financially as they hoped. That using these AI buzzwords probably does get them some investment in, and I do think more companies are going to be using generative AI in their workflows, and we just have to see how Sony actually uses AI. We are definitely going to see more and more companies use AI. But I also wonder if there's going to be like a company that just says, nah, we're not going to use AI, and but they just benefit from that. And like, I don't know, I feel like we are going to get like a new category of games. Like, you go to the supermarket and you see organic, or you're just going to see organic video games now. I don't know, man. That could be a new thing. Even more on Sony is that they haven't decided when to launch the PS6, nor how much it will cost, with the memory storage is set to continue. And also the PlayStation 5 is nearly at 100 million sold. I feel like with all companies, we don't really know what their strategy is. Even with Valve now with the Steam Machine, we still don't know when that's coming out. So I feel like companies are still hoping that the RAM shortage does get better, but we just have to see how that goes. Next. Okay, it's time for the quickfire round. People are expecting GTA 6 news And these rumors spike from the fact that people with a PlayStation 4 get an email saying it's time to upgrade to a PlayStation 5 to be ready for Grand Theft Auto 6, launching on November 19th. I don't think GTA 6 will be delayed. I feel like they are doing more marketing now, and they're pushing this date. So I feel like that date's definitely locked in, and I think we could get news any time. People are saying, oh, it's going to be in April, it's going to be in May, and it's like, they're just going to do it when they want to do it. Okay, I was reading this article from The Atlantic about an app called Morphcast, which can use AI to like recognize the emotion of humans. And they might found that a human's positive, negative. And I'm just thinking, this technology is going to definitely be used in like therapy and stuff. It is just in this article, this technology has been licensed to a mental health app. And it's just like, it scans the user's face and offers some personalized coupon based on their supposed mood. Like, I'm just like, what the man? It's just AI being able to recognize moods now. It's just crazy. But then also, this got me into a bit of a rabbit hole, and then I found another article which was quite a while ago. Well, a while ago, it was in March this year, from Meta, and it's about Tribe V2, a predictive foundation model trained to understand how the human brain processes complex stimuli. And I'm just like, what this is? One, this is Meta doing it, so they're just going to use this for their algorithms. And I believe, from my understanding, that this is used to predict how a human brain will react to like a certain post, what emotions they will feel, will keep them more engaged. And it allows you to test theories without requiring human subjects. So before, you'd probably be like, oh, how does this make you feel when you see this? And you'd be like, I'm angry. Now they can just have your brain in like an algorithm, and they know how you'll react before even you do. And it's just like, what? And then being able to use this in an algorithm would be so crazy. Like, you're not going to be able to get off if they have your brain. They're like, we know exactly how to keep you on the app to make you more and more engaged. So honestly, this has made me so cooked. And I don't know what you guys think about this. Let me know. Advertisement companies would be paying Meta saying, okay, can we have this model of the brain? What would they see of this if we use this advert? And then it's just like, yeah, we're so cooked, honestly. But hey, move on from that. Okay, Apple are reportedly in a deal to use Intel chips again, but it's unclear what Apple products will get Intel chips, as Apple and Intel did used to work together before the Apple Silicon. Maybe this is to do with the new Apple CEO wanting to try something new using Intel chips. We just have to see how this goes. Apple is also working on AirPods with cameras for AI, which are apparently close to production. The cameras aren't designed to snap photos or video, but to take visual information. So I'm guessing like this might be similar to like Meta glasses, but AirPods instead, and you'll be able to ask Siri, what am I looking at, for example. Okay, the Steam controller sold out within like 31 minutes, but then there's now a reservation queue which is open, so if you want a chance to purchase a Steam controller, hopefully you can get a reservation slot. Even more from Nintendo's latest financial report is the fact that the Switch 2 sold nearly 20 million units in its first year, and that Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green have now sold over 4 million copies globally. TikTok has rolled back an AI feature which incorrectly summarized some videos on the platform, and one description was claiming a celebrity was a fruit. AI isn't so goated after all. Okay, SpaceX and Anthropic are working together, as Claude has a computing deal with SpaceX, which will increase Anthropic's compute capacity. So you'll get high usage limits, and they'll be using a lot of NVIDIA's GPUs from the SpaceX partnership. It is funny to see that Elon Musk did call Anthropic evil. Now he's taking $4 billion to become its data landlord, essentially. SpaceX are also planning on building AI chips in Texas. It's planning on to invest at least $55 billion into the Terafab chip plant in Austin, Texas. Shiny Hunters are back, if they were the people that allegedly hacked GTA 6 a couple weeks ago. But they've threatened to leak schools' data from a breach into Canvas, which is a learning management platform which contains email addresses, ID numbers and messages. And students who attempted to access the system on Thursday saw a message from the hacking group claiming Shiny Hunters have breached instructor again. Instead of contacting us to resolve it, they ignored us and did some security patches. So they're kind of just making fun that they didn't really do anything to solve their vulnerabilities. But the thing is that this is like, these are like kindergarten, so their data's been breached, which does really suck. So hopefully nothing bad happens with this. OpenAI is launching an optional safety feature for ChatGPT that allows an adult users to assign an emergency contact for mental health and safety concerns. You can assign a trusted contact which will notify if OpenAI detects that person may have discussed topics like self-harm or suicide within the chatbot. Now, I feel like this is probably a good idea in principle, but I wonder like whether AI draws the line with what's considered self-harm. We just have to see how this goes. I definitely think more safety options does need to be put in place with AIs. It can actually be quite vulnerable. Developer behind 2K's Project Ethos suffers layoffs. Take-Two is sticking with the game as if they've never been more confident in the future of our game. Nintendo did announce a Star Fox remake for the Switch 2, launching June 25th. But it's also very controversial with this, how Fox and Falcon look, especially. Like, especially from my personal opinion is that he does look kind of like a cop who passed the training at the start but then lost himself. This Mario Galaxy movie, he gave me like Han Solo vibes, and I do not get that from this. I don't get that he's like cool or anything. I don't know. He just looks a bit chubby to me. I don't know if I'm just being weird, but yeah, hey, do you guys like this? Are you excited for Star Fox? Hey, Google has pulled the plug on Project Marina, an experimental feature designed to perform tasks for you across the web. They've integrated features from the project into other AI tools, including Gemini Agent. And finally, we got a bit of positivity. The Xbox has a new boot up screen, which is so sad that I'm saying that's positive, but just because we haven't got anything from Xbox. We've got a new generation, we didn't even get a new boot up screen, man. The 361 was so iconic. At least we're getting something, man. That's this week's gaming and tech news, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Latest gaming and tech news every week, keeping nerds up to date. Yeah, you know the rest.